elbows off the table. I gotta remember that.
Yeah, we have to remember all of the rules of actually recording in person again. Yeah.
This is exciting.
It's exciting. Yeah. It's like that nice combination of like, oh wow, like we're slipping back into something familiar, but at the same time, it does also feel like we're committing a petty crime right now.
I do keep looking over my shoulder, which is just your living room.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't be too worried. Anyway,
no.
We're seeing each other in person right now.
For the first time in, what, a year and a half?
Since March 2020 was the last episode of Trailer Hitch that we recorded like this. Mm-hmm. We're nervous, but we're excited. We're
drinking together, too.
I know. You know what? Cheers. Yeah, we get to do this without me adding in fake sound design, Kevin.
Which, don't get me wrong, your Foley classes did not come in vain.
Thank you.
It sounded great, but there is something about the real thing.
But yeah, so just to give everyone a little background knowledge, we did try to do this through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work.
Nope.
My internet is just not working. Jenny and I are in the middle of a move, so I think that maybe the internet knows, and it's just like putting up a hissy fit, I think is what's happening. It just knows we're on our last edge here. So
you're taking me with you, right?
It's like,
you're taking your old trusty router with you up to your house.
We'll see, Spectrum. You've been kind of a bitch, so we'll find out. But it wasn't working, so Kevin and I were just like, let's just do this old school. This is maybe one of the last times that I'm going to be just down the road from you.
That's true.
Which I'm glad we're capitalizing on it now. But that is neither here nor there right now. Right now we should revel.
We're in the moment.
In that we're back.
We're back.
We were on a brief hiatus. I don't know if you guys noticed. We weren't around for a bit.
I got a handful of correspondence from people being
really?
Like, yeah. And I mean, like, it wasn't anything that made me say, James, we have to record right now. I had the culottes on. I was going to relax and enjoy myself. But yeah,
you got your culottes? I love my culottes. Oh my gosh.
But at the same time, yeah, like there were a handful of people that went, so you guys going to be talking about this when you get back? And it's like, we'll see.
We'll see if we can fit it in.
Yeah, because there is so much to fit in.
Yeah.
Because we've been gone for a month.
We've been gone a while. First off, we're Trailer Hitch.
Oh yeah, we should mention that.
Should we do the theme song?
Yeah, we should probably just do the theme song.
And then we can talk about the stuff.
Yeah, then we can get into everything.
So this is Trailer Hitch. We talk about movie trailers, and here's the theme song.
Yeah.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer Hitch.
Grab a seat, pour yourselves a whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're Trailer Hitch. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're Trailer Hitch.
I mean, do you want to cheers again? I mean,
we're going to be doing this all night.
Yeah.
Because
it's going to sound like music concrete up in this motherfucker.
Oh, yes. I love it. Scott Sipp, am I right? Because the lead singer of Creed is Scott Stapp, right?
Yeah.
So I changed it to Scott Sipp because I'm sipping my drink.
That's good.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know if they would constitute as music concrete, but like that was a pretty fucking weird reference for me to make in the first place. So I was just gonna slide on in and be like, all right, cool, yeah, we're doing this.
Should we move on?
I'm welcoming this, arms wide open, James.
Arms wide open. Well, this is Trailer Hitch, like we mentioned. I am your co-host, James.
Yes, and I am your co-host, Kevin.
And we're back, like we said. And what's special about this time of year, Kevin, that Trailer Hitch normally does anyway, but now it's ultra special since it's our first episode back in a month.
Yeah, okay. So, well, very briefly, Trailer Hitch is a podcast where we rate and review movie trailers. It's not just us, like, trying to figure out a way to make Scott Stapp and Music Concrete work in the same sentence.
As much as I try to make it work as much as possible,
listen,
it's not that.
Listen, this is Trailer Hitch. We rate and review movies. We rate them on a scale of need to see more, never need to see. If James and I both like a trailer, we celebrate. Then we go see the movie, report back to you guys in a segment called Trailer in the Rear View, in which we talk about the trailer in retrospect and then review the film writ large. And that's not what we're doing, because there is actually, as James teased, something pretty special happening right around this time of year, which did not happen last year.
Yeah.
I don't really know why I'm being coy, because I'm pretty sure I'm putting this in the episode title. This is Conquest.
Da, 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 da.
Yes. So we're recording this on July 8th, my dad's birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
John.
birthday, Kevin's dad.
Yeah. I love how I called him by his first name and you called him.
No one called him
Kevin
Dad. I'll bite the bullet. Happy birthday, Dad.
Thank you, James.
From Trailer Hitch.
So, we're recording this on July 8th, which means that the Cannes Film Festival has been going on now for 3 days, I believe. It started on Monday.
Okay.
So
this will still be relevant.
Yeah. Like, by the time this episode comes out, the funny thing is we'll have probably the full depth of, like, clips and trailers and press and stuff. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. But every year where they have a Cannes Film Festival, James and I go on a conquest. We go off to France. I know we just got done with our vacation. It's been great seeing you guys, but we gotta pack our goddamn bags, and we gotta get through airport security. We have to go wave to the French.
That's right.
But before we do that, there has been a lot of trailers that came out because it's been a whole month.
Yeah, and a handful of people have reached out to Kevin. Not me. No one really thinks I'm in charge of anything, which is great.
Every time I sign an email from the Trailer Hitch, I always sign it Kevin, and then in parentheses I put, and I assume James approves too.
And he's always assuming correctly. So this is fair. But yes, there's never any rest when it comes to trailers. There's always trailers coming out.
Yes.
When we started this podcast, we always thought there would be like lulls.
Nah.
Those don't exist.
Nah.
So we have this segment on the show called Courtesy Honk. And it's when we have something that's going to take up the majority of the runtime of the episode, but another big trailer came out, we want to just a little tip of the hat.
Yeah.
Little acknowledgement. We saw it. We talked about it. Maybe, sort of. And then we're like...
vaguely gesturing at a minimum,
It's
yeah.
just like, so we have a handful of these now. Like, normally, it's a couple. Like, one or two.
And
it's like, hey, I just wanted a courtesy honk that we saw the new trailer for Jungle Cruise or something like that,
basically,
right?
what we'll be doing is, since we're on this plane to France, we're seeing all of the cars stuck in traffic, and we're running up to, like, the cabin, and we're just honking the plane horn, which I assume all planes have, as we are passing the freeway.
The plane horn.
The plane horn,
Yeah,
of
the
course.
plane horn. Yeah, I know.
It might be a little louder, but
gotcha.
bear with us.
So this is Courtesy Honk, and we're just gonna kind of just briefly catch you up on the big ones that most people would have been like, oh, is Trailer Hitch going to talk about this?
And bear in
Normally
mind,
we would have. You know?
Yeah. And bear in mind, if you don't hear a big trailer, it's because either by the time we recorded this or by the time this episode comes out, that movie is already out.
Yeah.
And we tend to, with Trailer Hitch, make sure that all of our trailers are for something that is going to be coming out in the future, even if it's like a week or two.
Exactly.
But,
and this is a perfect weekend for that example, because there has been a lot of new trailers for Black Widow in the last month.
Yeah.
But that comes out this weekend. So
I still don't believe it.
I know it is.
Just
You can
because
see it right now, Kevin.
It's so strange.
I know, it's very weird. James Bond No Time to Die is going to be the weirdest one for me. When that is actually in theaters, I'll just be like, okay, we beat this thing.
That'll be the real mark.
Yeah, that'll be the mark. But, so Black Widow, it's like a perfect example. We're not going to be talking about Black Widow because by the time this episode airs, the movie will have been in theaters for 2 days already, or 3 days.
Exactly.
So, but let's just dive into some other stuff.
We're gonna start honking at this full freeway.
And,
here.
like, do you want me to just list them and then we can like discuss them, or just like a little bit?
I'm happy with that.
All right, here are the big ones that we missed, you guys. Free Guy. Free Guy got a new trailer.
That is, I think, in the same vein as Black Widow and No Time to Die, where it's like, oh, fuck, right.
We reviewed the first trailer for that. It seems like eons ago.
Yes.
And now there's a new trailer for Free Guy.
And I did like the second trailer.
I'm still excited.
The only thing
more Taika Waititi too, which I'm a big
Taika.
fan of.
The thing that I found kind of interesting now watching this, because they did a really interesting job, because it was funny, but at the same time they were kind of introducing the idea of, well, if my feelings for you are real, then is it even a simulation at that point? Like when Ryan Reynolds is talking to his friend, and his friend's like, well, what I would do for you is real, even if the world we're in isn't.
Yeah.
That's really heavy for a Ryan Reynolds movie. That's
Yeah.
super interesting. But I will say, the thing that I have in the back of my mind, I'm really curious to see if the film answers why the player, because the person who frees Ryan Reynolds is like just some girl with a laptop and a whole fucking headset.
Yeah.
Why she picks Ryan Reynolds to get out.
I mean, have you seen Ryan Reynolds?
See, now that you're in person, you can see me pause and consider and not really have a good retort.
I mean, even though he's a NPC.
NPC, yep.
Looks damn good.
That's fair.
I guess I would gravitate towards him as well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they say it in the trailer, like, hey, if your feelings are real, then isn't it real? So, oh god, my head hurts. Can we talk about another trailer?
I'm ready for it.
Cool.
The next one is Shang Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yeah.
So this isn't the same case as, like, this is still a relatively new marketing campaign that they waited and
Last one was a teaser.
Yeah. So this one was good. There's a little bit more to it, not much though. And I think it's kind of in the same vein of like the Black Widow trailers, that they've been heavy on action. It is an origin story.
It is an origin story. It's a pretty common criticism for Marvel to have a nondescript villain, but I think the fact that the villain in Shang-Chi is the guy's dad is immediately going to be like, okay, well, last time it was familial, it was Thor, and we got Loki out of that shit. So that's a pretty decent sign. But I will say,
Nice, yeah.
Shang-Chi is now 2 for 2 on comedic stingers at the end, just not landing.
Not landing. I would totally agree with
Yeah.
you. Yeah. I did like there's a little bit of tease in there of the Abomination, which is a character from the Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
That's kind of a fun nod.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How rad would it be if one of the post-credit scenes of an MCU movie that's coming up, I don't care which one, but it is Edward Norton's Hulk just sitting there, and then like someone walks by and it's like, you still waiting for Tony Stark? He's like, yeah, he's gonna be here.
Gulp. Okay, so
right.
that was Shang-Chi.
Yep.
Next one, The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Yeah.
So diverging from like action films, we got ourselves I guess a biopic of of Tammy Faye and her husband, the evangelical.
It didn't feel exactly the same tone-wise, but it did kind of give me the I, Tonya vibe of, this is based on true events. This might not be exactly how it went down, but this is kind of like a semi-comedic retelling.
Yes, and man, the frickin' prosthetics on Jessica Chastain.
Realize it was Jessica Chastain until the end.
Spectacular looking.
And
though.
also, part of the reason why I didn't recognize Jessica Chastain is because, like, hey, James, do you remember that role where Jessica Chastain folds her arms and looks stern? And do you remember her other roles where she folds her arms and looks stern? She, unfortunately, has kind of been typecast as that person. And don't get me wrong, she's great.
She is great, yeah.
And I think very highly of her as an actor. But this is like one of her first roles in a really long time where she's gotten to do more than be she's slightly smarter than everyone else in the room
that's
kind
a really
of role.
fair point, yeah.
And like, she was crushing it, man. Like, and it kind of made me look and be like, listen, I liked Molly's Game more than most, but I'm kind of upset she wasn't doing this for the past like 4 to 5 years. Like, she's great at character acting.
It's a good No Time Like the Present. And Andrew Garfield looks good in this too. This looks fun. I thought it looked fun.
Yeah.
And it's different. I don't really know anything about these people. But I do know that TV Christian and evangelicals are just like, I'm not a fan of, like, based of everything I've like done research on. This is very odd. Anyway, okay, moving on.
Yes.
Sticking with Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield's setting himself up for a banner year, as is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda clearly just wants to make rent. I mean that figuratively and literally, by making a musical that they're singing about Bohemia and all this stuff, and it's like living in New York and stuff. It's probably New York. I don't know.
Oh, there's no way it's not.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's very Rent-esque, but very visually trippy though.
Visually really interesting.
So the music vibe at the very head of it was catchy. And then it's like,
I saw it and was like, this is probably what Lin-Manuel Miranda does at parties. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, I think he's an incredibly endearing dude. And, like, if he did it at a party, I would kind of, like, okay, I'd at least, like, nod my head along.
He's constantly trying to start La Vie Boheme from Rent. Just like, hey, everyone, right? You all know it. Sing along. It's like, we're just trying to talk, dude.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, so the good music. And then it goes,
then the
it shifts. There is a shift.
It made me, and listen, I liked In the Heights just fine, but, like, it made me be like, fucking, why? You should have directed In the Heights.
Yeah.
Like,
we should talk about In the Heights at some point. Not this episode. We got to save it for Con. But I have thoughts on In the Heights, but we can get back to that. I am excied about this, though. I think it's interesting. Interesting.
Like, this was not on my radar at all, and then all of a sudden it was like, when does this come out? I was super intrigued by it.
Netflix film. It's a Netflix film, too.
Yep.
So that'll be nice. Halloween Kills, Kevin.
Okay.
Come on.
The only thing I wrote, I do have like a handful of notes. All I wrote for Halloween Kills is in the tune of the Weezer song, Halloween Kills, that's where I wanna be. Because it's a really good trailer, James.
Dying by Michael Myers.
Perfect! Dude, yeah, like, so I saw the Halloween remake from, like, what, 2018?
2018, yep.
And I was not that crazy about it. And it bummed me out. Like, I was so excited for it. But, like, outside
Nothing offensive in it. It just didn't blow your socks off.
Just didn't blow my socks off. Like, there's a lot of... If people were, like, a little bit smarter, they could have gotten out of that situation, but we contrived ways for them to die, sort of deal. I love the actual Halloween sequence where Michael Myers is just, like, going around the neighborhood and just stabbing folks, like, completely undercover because everyone's in costume. That slapped. So it was one of those things where, like, I finished Halloween and was like, that didn't really do a ton for me. Like, stuff I liked in it, but... Yeah, like, I hear they're making a sequel. I don't know. I might tap out of this. I watched this trailer and was like, I will be there opening night. This looks fucking amazing.
It looks great, right? Yeah. And to start it right where the last one left off, and not just, like, a little scene. You can tell that's going to be a set piece. Yeah. Like, he needs to kill every single firefighter that shows up to save him.
Dude, even before that, like, the fucking thing where, like, they're riding in the back of that pickup.
Well, then that was in the teaser a while ago, which we loved.
And I loved it then, too. But, yeah, just the fact that, like... Yeah, like them screaming after the firefighters, let it burn.
Let it burn.
It's just like, hairs are on the standing up. Holy shit, here we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the thing where like the firefighter falls through the floor and it's like grab my hand and then Michael Myers' hand.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck. Yes, I'm there.
But excellent environmental kill stuff. Like he did something with like a fluorescent light bulb with a woman. I'm so on board with this. And I love that Laurie is still in it and still is just like in the same mindset.
Her granddaughter is even like, you got stabbed in the stomach, and Laurie just like picks up a knife out of nowhere and it's just like, no, we're going.
It's like, you don't understand. This isn't just a killer. This is pure evil. We're it.
Yeah.
It's either step up or die. Like, that's the options. So we're there for that. Clifford the Big Red Dog, Kevin.
All right, now on to something completely different. Yeah. But I'm going to argue no less terrifying. My thought, man, is I think we were about 5 years out from the CGI Clifford not looking horrifying, but we unfortunately did not wait the 5 years. And as
I think you're right.
Yeah, that dog does not look natural. And granted, it's a big red dog. I'm not expecting
it looks better when it's big.
Yeah.
It looks very weird when it's normal dog size.
I would not take that dog home.
No, it looks off. Yeah. So I was okay, look, the vibe of this, I'm like, this could be like it's like a new Paddington. Sure. In terms of the vibe, in terms of the charm, right?
It's very whimsical, very wholesome.
It could be. And I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying it's got big raincoat to fill, huh?
I'm clapping.
Thank you. Big because of Clifford. Raincoat because of Paddington. That was exhausting. I did it, Kevin.
You made it.
The thing that like really threw me off though was literally the end stinger where Clifford eats another dog.
Fuck fucking weird.
And then it's like, oh, you
Don't
think,
worry,
you
he
think,
spit him out.
Well, it's like he spits him out, and then it's like you think it's like, oh, he was just playing, and he's big, so it got out of control. But then the owner says, I guess we should feed him, which implies no, he was trying to eat that dog.
He wanted to eat.
So
Sniffles.
we're not whimsical anymore. This is Michael Myers shit.
It's a threat.
Which is why I put it behind Halloween Kills.
No, smart. No, at that point, you're right. It is a threat at that point.
So look, I'm hoping for Paddington-esque, but I think we're going to get more
Halloween Kills,
but
Probably.
but dogs. Anyway, we have two more, Kevin. We got Encanto. Actually came out just today.
Also part of Lin-Manuel Miranda's big year because he did some songs for it.
And hey, look, Moana absolutely blew my socks off when it came to like Lin-Manuel Miranda's involvement with that.
Moana's great.
I listened to that soundtrack actually, still,
nice.
just for fun. So this will be fun, very colorful, very a good message looks like, because this is Disney, this isn't Pixar.
Correct.
Yeah, because we talk about how Pixar kind of like goes on its back heels a lot when it comes to presenting what the story is going to be, the conflict. It's like, oh no, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty straightforward.
It's pretty wild that, Pixar, usually, you're right, it kind of backs up on its heels a little bit when it comes to explaining, like, the conflict. And we always are forgiving with Pixar because, like, hey, these are super high concept trailers and movies, usually. Paging Luca. But, yeah, we're usually pretty forgiving of it because it's like, oh, yeah, we understand. Then along comes Disney and fucking crushes it with this trailer. I loved this
It's
thing.
amazing.
Yeah.
The music, and look, there isn't any, like, singing, but you can tell the music's going to be incredible.
Just like the simple reveal, it establishes so quickly, like, how the house is magic, how the people in it are magic.
The house knows the music is playing.
Yes.
And it is going along with it.
It is bumping along with you. And then that reveal of, oh yeah, now she has no magic of any sort.
Yeah, this family of super powered family members, there's one who has nothing.
Yeah.
And everyone,
maybe your power is you're in denial. It's funny too.
And everyone never lets her forget it either, which is like, this is gonna be good. Like, this is, it kind of reminds me of the Lego movie where it's just like everyone's master builders, and then it's like, it's okay if you're that kid who likes to follow the instructions. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's
doesn't
a great
mean you're less
connection.
imaginative. It doesn't mean anything. And I think that's a great message that should be in more movies. I think that's going to be great in this. So, last one, Kevin.
Yes, this was a listener request.
Absolutely,
This comes from Adam Busher, whose Lost on Lost podcast is now, I think, like, they're 10 episodes strong or something like that.
So good. The last one with special guest Kim Davister.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
Really, really fun stuff.
Absolutely. But he ended up sending a request to us asking for us to talk about Escape Room 2.
Which Kevin and I went, of course, we always would have done that without being asked to.
There would be no prompt here. All right, so this, I'm going to do my best because all I wrote in my notes was ha 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 over and over again.
I'm not quoting you, I'm just laughing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. Yeah, so it takes place right after the first escape room movie. We had a few people get out. We're going to go get our revenge on these people. And so they're on a train to, like, get their justice. And then, psych! It's part of the escape room.
We planned for you to come seek your revenge.
And it's one of those things where I think I would have really respected this trailer if the rest of the movie was just the people who fell for it, just being like, I am such a fucking idiot. Why would I think they would... Of course they would figure out a way to make sure that we get stuck in another escape room if we came
Kevin,
back.
let me ask you a question. If you got out of an escape room like that, where you,
Life or death,
people were dying around you, and you got out by the skin of your teeth, would that be the first thing you would do?
I would definitely, like, have a nap, and then if people were like, hey, we're going to go and get our revenge on the people who did the escape room. Are you in? I'd be like, they're clearly just going to set another trap. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And then I would get a panicked FaceTime a couple days later where they're like, hi, we're on the train. It was definitely a part of the escape room. And I'd be like, God damn it. Okay, well, are any letters missing?
Yeah.
And I would try and help them, but I'd be the Bosley, I think.
Yeah, Bosley's good.
Yeah.
I would like watch Tommy Boy, just like try and like calm down, and then I'd go on a road trip, and I wouldn't get on any public transport at all. So yeah, Tournament of Champions, escape room.
You do like a full road trip, but after like a full week on the road, you're looking at the Grand Canyon, and all of a sudden, glitch. Turns out the Grand Canyon was part of the escape room. Something like that happens in this trailer.
You got to walk across the Grand Canyon. Figure it out, otherwise you die. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this. Sorry, Adam.
I mean, it's basically, like, it just reminded me of Cube. Do you know that movie?
I think you have told me about this movie.
It is basically a bunch of people are trapped in, like,
a box room.
You would have to assume a cube. And
an oval room, funny enough.
Curveball. Yeah, it's one of those things where, people go into rooms and then there are various, like, traps and shit that they have to get out of and they have to solve and things like that. And I'm just imagining the person who created the Cube franchise, because I think that went for four or five movies at least.
Jeez, okay.
I'm just imagining that guy was like, don't worry, they're going to come crawling back to Cube at some point. The Cube franchise is ripe for a redo. And then Escape Room came out, and that guy just sank a little bit in his chair. Yeah, man.
I think we're done with the courtesy honk, aren't we?
By the end, we were honking at boats. That's how far we've gone in our trip. Because no, sir.
Well, there we did it. We covered it. We covered an entire month's worth of talking point worthy trailers.
We did that fast.
We did.
Folks, what you're listening to would have been like 2 hours of content on a normal schedule for us.
Let's not dwell on that, because that's going to make me question how we do this podcast every episode. I think it's just because I was excited to get to the meat and potatoes. The reason we're excited today.
The meat and baguettes, yeah.
Is it the brie and baguettes?
Yes, you're right.
The brie and baguettes.
Let's just go full French here. Yeah.
Trailer Hitch does not have many like specialty episodes of the year, of the season. So this is one of them. It's really exciting that this is the one we're coming back from. That's why we breezed through all those other ones. It's time to head over to Cans.
We don't need to know how to pronounce it, because we'll figure it out once we're there. So when James and I were first doing this, we did have a special theme song for this. It was actually the song.
Was Jack White?
Yeah, it was Conquest by the White Stripes.
Yeah.
Fit perfectly.
Oh, it was so good.
But then once we started to post our episodes onto YouTube, copyright, things like that, and bear in mind, we don't want to anger Jack White, who is, and you can quote me on this, the Willy Wonka of the music industry. Like, he's too whimsical to anger. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, we wanted to do something that could still fly, and so what we ended up finding the last time we did this, to embrace the multiculturalism of the Cannes Film Festival, because it's films from all over the world, we did find audio of someone playing Frere Jacques on the bagpipes. So, ladies and gentlemen, after quite a bit of a delay, we didn't get to do this in 2020, this is Conquest 2021. You know what this means, James, is I'm going to have to send that to you, and then that has to live on your computer for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's exactly like The Ring, where I send that to you. If you don't send it to someone in 7 days, then you have to record Hell's Bells on the Glockenspiel or something like that. You have to, like, pick some song and then be like, okay, I guess I'm doing it on the kazoo.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good theme song. I'm glad we are revisiting this.
I mean, again, it embraces the multiculturalism in beautiful, sunny or maybe rainy. I keep meaning to Google the weather of Cannes before I actually do these, but
well, it's always sunny here, so why don't we just stick with what we know.
We'll stick with what we know. Beautiful sunny France. We are finally back at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
But folks, we gotta come clean. I was having some visa issues, so James actually had to sneak me. He baked a cake and I just sort of fit inside of it.
They ask no questions with giant cakes.
Yeah.
It's criminal, actually.
Yeah, if a cake is over 5 feet tall, they
Yeah.
probably should, like, at least stick a finger in there. But
Yeah.
they're like, well, I mean, the frosting job is too good. We
Yeah,
have
you
to
think
set
I
this
could have,
up.
like, baked it where, like, Kevin could crouch on the inside, but no, I'm like, no, you got to be full standing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, and I'm like 5'10", so it was... I've eaten my way out of it. We're now in France, but we probably shouldn't linger, just
No.
because I'm breaking the law.
Yeah.
So, what we're going to do, folks, because there are, I believe, 23 movies total, because there are going to be some films that don't have clips or they don't have trailers. That is kind of the risk you run, because the Cannes Film Festival is we're here to show the films, not the trailers. So it's one of those things where, like, sometimes that happens, where there just aren't clips or trailers. But yeah, we got 23 movies in total, which we understand is a lot. So we are capping it at 2 minutes a pop. So we're going to just do this one film at a time and keep you guys posted. We're going to save all of the movies and trailers that don't have clips right at the very end of this segment. But yeah, just 2 minutes a pop. All right, James, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm so ready. Let's do
Okay,
it.
so here we go. First movie we have here is Annette, which we've already talked about on the show. So you can definitely just go and find a full review of us talking about it. I watched it again in preparation for this. Still slaps.
Yeah, as did I. Still an amazing, amazing trailer. Completely bonkers and weird, but that is its charm. Like, you are just like, what is happening here? They don't look like good parents. Tossing the baby around, swinging it by its bottom foot. It's weird. It's real weird. But also, maybe he's a murderer. I don't know. He pulls a knife out very sinisterly. It's odd. They're on a ship. There's music. They're on stage. He's yelling at the audience.
Yep.
What is happening here? I don't know, but I know I am into it. Just into it, man. And maybe it's Adam Driver's just like gravitas, but I dig this, man. I dig the Annette trailer.
It's super good.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have. All right,
Yeah.
so that was 1 minute. All right, we just need to do that. I think we'll be fine. All right, so the next one we have here is going to be The Story of My Wife. Now, for something that we haven't already done a full goddamn review of, I'll be giving you guys a little synopsis, and then James and I will just jump right into it and talk after that.
I'm actually going to do a thing too, Kevin. So, like, just for my own records when I was going through these, it's hard to just, like, write down a movie title and then try to remember just off that when I'm not super familiar with the movie, what it was. So what I did is I wrote down just a little Jamesism, a little blurb. They were meant just for me, but I'm going to share them with people, I think. It's going to be part of my our 2 minutes is me sharing my little blurb. It was always just meant for me to remind me. What was that one again? So I just wanted to let you all know that. I didn't do it with Annette or French Dispatch because Kevin and I have talked about those on the podcast before. Everything else, though, you're gonna get a little Jamesism.
Perfect. So here we go. This one is The Story of My Wife. A seaman meets his mermaid if she got her legs but kept her voice. Leah Sado seems like a firecracker, but we largely hang out with a dude who spends most of the time looking off camera like someone just stole his seat at McDonald's. James, what did you have about this?
Well, my Jamesism was the mostly unfunny Borat prequel.
Jesus Christ, that's so good.
The story of my wife. You get it. But yeah, it starts with just a boy bums on a boat.
Yep.
And it elevates to just romance, but in a very, I don't know, weird way.
Yeah, it's, you don't really, they set up that they're in conflict in quotes, but you don't really know what that conflict is. So
no, it's hard to tell, and there's more than one romantic entanglement, right?
Yeah, I believe
there's two women, I believe.
1 minute left.
That's where it gets a little like, what's going on here? Needs more Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, yeah, the trailer does a lot of, like, philosophizing throughout all of it, and it's definitely going for, do you get it? This relationship is a lot like life. It's like, yeah, fucking two-reeler, man, but at the same time, like, I don't really have enough specific about this relationship in order for it to really resonate beyond what you're trying to throw at me. So, yeah, I wasn't really too taken by this. And time?
20 seconds, 21 seconds.
Oh, yeah, 21 full seconds.
Not bad at all.
We could have made more Borat jokes. All right.
I mean, I can make more Borat jokes, Kevin. Challenge accepted. I'm going to fit them in.
Okay. All right, so next we have Benedetta. All right. A nun has been blessed with stigmata, earning her Yas Queen status inside her habit, but she takes the power bestowed upon her within the habit and God's high five to do whatever she wants, up to and including starting a steamy relationship with another nun. From the director of RoboCop, wait, seriously? And Showgirls, okay, yeah, I can see that. We have Benedetta. All right, how did you remind yourself of this?
The little Jamesism for Benedetta is naughty nuns. And then I'll add, very nice. Because I promised you I would.
Yeah, okay, so basically the way I'd put this, man, is like, we had like very little established conflict with our last trailer.
Yeah.
But this one had all the goddamn conflict.
Yeah.
Like, it basically feels like a Grindhouse version of Robert Downey Jr.'s Oscar bait trailer from Tropic Thunder. Like,
The Monks.
Yes.
The Monks one with Tobey Maguire. Yeah.
yeah, it's mixing the high art of candlelit cinematography, religious subtext, and French women fucking with the skeeziness of violence, gossip, and French women fucking.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly completely for it. Like, it's one of those things where, listen, I'm not expecting this to blow my socks off, but this just looks like a, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
kind of time at the movies.
I definitely got the vibe that whoever like directed this may just like is using this as a outlet for some crazy fantasies that they have.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's not usually what I gravitate towards for entertainment. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not super for me, but look, I'm not saying it wasn't steamy because it was.
Mm-hmm.
But also growing up Catholic, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I feel I get this weird Catholic guilt about it, so I'm just gonna shy away. That's all I got.
All right, so Jesus is preventing you from seeing the movie, and sup, 8 seconds.
I wouldn't say preventing, more just like looking on discouragingly.
Well, our next one is called Drive My Car.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was a 30-second trailer that's completely in Japanese. It did not have any English subtitles,
It didn't,
so
no.
I'll do my best. Let's see. A man teaches a woman how to drive, where they fall for each other, fail to secure the rights to the Beatles song of the same name, and learn that putting your lit cigarette outside your moonroof is probably a fast track to an ashy backseat. You'd have to figure, right? Okay, so there's very little to go off of here, but James, how did you remind yourself of this?
Jamesisms here was 90s romance film VO guy, but Japanese.
Yeah, that is exactly what the trailer is.
Which I
making.
dug. Like, I again, these aren't criticisms or compliments. These are just things to make me remember what it was, what I watched.
It's the cold hard truth.
Yeah,
is what it is.
And this one specifically, it may sound like a criticism, but it's not. Like, I respected that. It definitely sounded like she's a girl who's down on her luck, but also driving, and he's like a business guy who just like doesn't know when to stop working. You know, it just kind of sounded like that from the VO guy.
Yeah,
but I have no idea what he was saying, so maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think from a visual standpoint, it definitely had like the really dreamy color palette. Like, there's a filmmaker called Warkong Wai. Like, that's sort of what he's known for, is just like, oh yeah, if you're getting a shot in the city at night, expect that shit to look gorgeous. But like, he also moves his camera around a lot, and that wasn't what this was. This definitely had like a more Woody Allen, like, I'm gonna shoot this in a medium static shot. Fuck you if you want me to use a dolly.
It's all about the dialogue.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if like those two visual styles really stick together for me.
Yeah.
But I only watched 30 seconds of it, so what the fuck do I know?
And stop. 8
seconds
seconds.
again.
I was going to yell at you, but you caught it.
Oh, no.
I saw you wrapping it up. That's another good thing.
We have
With this
visual cues
in
again.
person, I'm like, I can tell when you're on track. You're on it.
Let's see. I'm happy because yeah, if I was the person in control of the timer to go over, and you were the one that needed to call me out on it, I'd really have to bend the knee. But speaking of bend the knee, this next one is called Ahed's Knee. So this is a trailer. in Hebrew. So here we go. It's a man in the desert remembering his lover, and suddenly jarring images of threat and violence all coalesce together, and it finally answers cinema's greatest question. What if Terrence Malick tried some of Paul Thomas Anderson's cocaine? Okay, James.
All right, the Jamesism for Ahed's Knee is guy with salt and pepper hair, like spinning in the desert, sledgehammers, and close-up of knees.
Yeah.
Really no joke there, I just listed things.
I don't know about you, but like definitely, because there's a shot where like some jeans rip, and you get a shot of it.
There's like a zip up from the leg,
yes,
and then the knee is like ripped open.
Yes. And I don't know about you, but like I perked up like Leonardo DiCaprio Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I was like, that's the knee! I was so excited.
See, here's what I did, because Kevin sent me these trailers or clips. I just clicked on them before looking at the title and watched it, and I went, is that a knee or an elbow? Then I went back to the email and saw the title of this movie was Ahed's Knee, and I'm like, got it.
Again, this trailer was in Hebrew. We had no subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
As far as trailers where I have no idea what's going on, because at least with a net we could like take a stab at it.
Yeah.
This I have no idea what the fuck is happening. But I'll say I enjoyed this. I kind of liked its visual style. And I liked some of, like, that goofiness involved, too. Like, the Israeli military women at the end with, like, the M16s dancing.
They were doing, like, a Bollywood-style dance number or something.
It's like, that looks fucking rap.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was cool. Yeah.
So I appreciatied how tongue-in-cheek it seemed to be with itself.
I'm with you.
And stop.
13 seconds, not too shabby.
Yeah,
all right, we're doing it. We're doing great, you guys.
This. Interpol won't nab me yet. Okay, cool.
Just wipe that frosting from your hair. Just a little bit.
I was actually saving that for. I was going to drop it in my coffee.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so our next one is called Casablanca Beats. Now, we didn't get a trailer for this one. This was just a clip, and in the clip, a young girl is being led into an art center by her mother to chide her mentor for teaching her hip-hop since it's not art. The mentor, though respectful, makes the case that hip-hop is art, but the mom walks so firmly out the door, and the disheartened daughter is in tow. So, like, no real jokes. Like, I just had to describe what was going on here, because that was our little clip. So I don't know much of the film beyond this, but I finished the clip and immediately went, yeah, she's going to rap by the end of this movie. So how about you? What did you say?
Well, the Jamesism for Casablanca Beats was hip-hop bad, not causing trouble good. That's all I wrote for that. This is actually probably the first thing on the list, other than Annette, of course, that I was like, I dug this. Like,
cool.
I'm like, when the clip was done, I was kind of like, aw. I kind of want to keep watching, you know?
See, I think for me, it's because, like, there's so much warmth within it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, because the mom isn't trying to be an asshole and stifling her daughter. She's
you can tell this is coming from a place of, like, confidence, but, like, family security, and, like, she just wants to do right by her family for the community and for the culture.
Yeah, and, like, you can tell she's very traditional. And, like, the mentor who's arguing with her is super respectful of her. And, like, at one point...
Infinite patience with her,
At one point, one of the girls in the art center, like, spray paints someone's back. It's like, oh, God, what being a dick. She's spray painting a heart. This feels like if Paddington directed 8 Mile. And, like, there is something that is, like, really, like... heartwarming about it, and so like that was really what was carrying me through. If it's gonna like work for an entire feature, who knows, but like at least for this clip I was definitely endeared by it too.
Same.
Stop.
6 seconds. All right, we're getting close, Kevin. We gotta start getting our crap together here.
Okay, that's fine. Well,
Casablanca Beats hasn't us waxing poetic. No, what's the term?
It has us dropping the beat.
Yeah.
We ought to improve our flow. I'm trying to think of other rap things.
Waxing poetic is a thing, right?
That is actually a thing.
Okay, I just wanted to double check that I'm not making stuff up.
No, you are not creating phrases. All right.
Got it.
All right, so our next one is called Compartment Number 6. And we will, in theory, be talking about this not as long, because this son of a bitch is 54 seconds.
Yep.
All right, so compartment number 6 is a woman running from her previous relationship shares a train compartment with a way too drunk guy, and they end up striking an unlikely friendship. She has too much bite and self-awareness to be self-pitying, and the guy is too endearing and shady to be outright vile. This is all set up in 54 goddamn seconds, telling an intriguing story in less time than it takes to microwave a burrito. James, what did you say?
The Jamesism for compartment number 6, translation, fuck off. Which I just, like, really love.
That joke was so good.
Super solid. Yeah. So he was just like, how do you say I love you in your language, basically? and she says a thing, and then in parentheses it just says fuck off, and he says it, and he's so proud of himself. He's not trying to be a dick, but he's also, it's like, you're coming on way too strong,
He's
dude.
coming on way too strong, yeah. And
cool your jets.
Yeah, and it's like, they strike this friendship, and I think what makes this not feel like it's going to be like a traditional rom-com is the relationship the woman is running from is with another woman.
That's what makes this feel like a platonic rom-com.
Yes.
Is that like a thing? Because it should be. And maybe this will start it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I was, like, in 54 seconds, I was sold on both of these characters. I was like, I would totally be down to watch an entire movie of this. And it only took you 54 seconds? That's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? It's not a movie, but Stranger Things Season 3 had this platonic rom-com between Steve Harrington and Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Maya Hawke.
Maya Hawke. I want more stories like that. I think that's a rich story, and I think we could use more of that. So, there you go.
We might be getting it with compartment number 6. And stop. 14 seconds.
Got some Stranger Things in there with some time to spare.
All right. Is nothing sacred? We're going to find out if Lingui the Sacred Bonds is. Okay, so as soon as you hear the synopsis, you'll hear why we're going to be pretty fucking light on jokes here. A woman in Africa enters a rustic home trying to find a way to get her 15-year-old daughter an abortion. The download doctor residing in the house insists she can do the procedure there, and when asked if there had been any accidents in her time doing those procedures, the doctor replies, "That's God's decision." The mother looks around, seeing the in no way, shape, or form sterile instruments this download doctor uses, and realizes the danger she'd be putting her daughter in if she brings her here. So, holy shit, this is going to be pretty heavy. But I thought that this was incredibly engrossing, specifically because of the mom's acting. Like, you can tell that her reticence about everything really does come from the love for her daughter. And I think the back and forth with the doctor is sharply written. I think the direction here is really tight while never calling attention to itself. And really my only note is I think this would be something I'd get as a disc in Netflix go, I don't think I'm in the mood for something this heavy right now. And then I'd let it sit for 3 months, but then when I would finally get to it, be like, man, that was fucking good.
It's like a Schindler's List.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, I'm never going to be in the mood for that.
Not shitting you. Schindler's List is sitting right over there right now.
So, no, I'd agree with you, and I'd agree with you about the acting of the other woman, too. She's so blasé about everything, and it's just so cold, yet it's so weird. Anyway, the Jamesism for this one that I wrote was just pretend circumcisions.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get that part. When she said, I'm here to do something for my daughter, I got that it was abortion. When she said pretend circumcisions, I was just like, what?
The doctor was listing all the other things she did, and she lists circumcision, but then she's like, oh, by the way, I just faked my circumcisions. And so it's like, what the fuck? You're faking these procedures?
Big question mark.
Oh.
Done. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. To spare. Okay, that was
cutting it close. There's a lot to dissect.
Sorry, the last thing I wanted to say about that is just it was other than Casablanca Beats, that was the next one that I was just like, I'm really enraptured here.
It's really good, yeah.
Really enraptured here.
Okay, so our next one is Nitrum. A woman tells a story about how her kid is kind of an asshole over a piano tune that you would know, but go, oh god, right, what's this one called again? It also never reveals our central character's face, keeping him an enigma, which is a bold choice that honestly kind of pays off, Cotton. All right, James?
I agree. I think it totally works. The Jamesism I wrote for this one, again, not funny, just facts.
Sure.
Boy hides in clothes and car.
Yeah.
That's all I wrote. And it's like, okay, that'll just make me remember.
It really does stick out.
Especially based on the title, Nitram. I'm like, I needed to write something that will make me remember what this is.
Yeah, apparently that is the character name.
Of the boy?
Of the boy.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, for a plot that looked so simple, so just like basic.
It's a character study.
It was excellent tension building, and maybe it was the hiding of the face.
Well, it's because
it's
never really establish him as a person. It's just
and she's telling this story that's
about
clearly from a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, well, what story are we telling in the present that story has impact here?
Yeah.
I have so many, intriguing questions.
It does so much to, excite me and get me, really interested. It's, I absolutely loved the cinematography here. I think the mom kills that monologue.
So good.
She's so perfect in that.
And that married with the B-roll of the hidden sun in his hair
Yeah.
doing all
and
random
the fact
stuff.
that can we give ourselves like 10 more seconds?
Do it.
Okay, we're giving ourselves 10 more seconds. All right, so the fact that like the closest we get to seeing his face is she's like pulling his hair back, almost like you would pull back the clothes in a clothes rack, which sets up. Isn't that fucking cool,
That's
dude?
so good.
Yeah.
I really dug this one.
I really love this.
Really
trailer.
good.
Okay,
All
we're
right.
done. All right.
So we went 10 seconds
we
over,
went over.
but we turned the alarm off because we didn't want it bothering our in-depth
We had to
conversation.
geek out because this trailer's
we like-
super solid.
Look,
guys.
if we were going over on a trailer or clip that sucked, we would have let the alarm interrupt
Yell
us.
at us, yeah.
But no, we both really liked that one.
All right, well, let's see if this next one makes us want to fly the coop, because this is Petrov's flu. We begin with a child bedridden with a fever. The doctor seems unmoved and uncaring. The father is clearly distraught. Then forget about all that, I guess, because the dude steals a corpse. There's a librarian who stabs dudes. A love affair ends up finding itself in the library. And then there's explosions. What the hell is this, you wonder? Is the corpse supposed to be the child's corpse? That'd be rad, but I have no idea. So... look, doing trailers for movies with wild tonal shifts is really difficult, and for proof, here's Petrov's flu. We hit like a bunch of different tonal styles here. We're mixing like melancholic drama and John fucking Wick, but there really isn't a center here, so my best fix from afar is focusing on one character instead of trying to establish this ensemble. But if it's trying to sell the zaniness, okay, it looks batshit. I'm not counting the movie out just yet, because I will say, if we all remember correctly, the trailer for Parasite was, I don't know, fine. But then the movie ended up, I think, turning out to be really fucking great. So, not counting the movie out yet, but yeah, this trailer did not do it for me.
That's fair. The Jamesism, longest Jamesism of the list.
Ooh, here we go.
About a sick boy? Or a body snatcher? Or infidelity? Or murder? Or Arabian politics? Not sure. I was like, this was all over the place.
It so was.
It's far from my least favorite of the batch. Didn't quite hit the level of like
too entertaining.
And it's
be the worst.
and it's too bonkers.
Yeah.
Maybe if I could like understand a little bit more, maybe it would have made more sense to me, but I couldn't. So for me, this was just like,
And again, there's no center.
what is this?
Yeah, so
so
you're just kind of left being like, wait, what am I watching now?
exactly. So
Yeah.
that is Petrov's flu in a nutshell.
6 seconds,
6
man.
seconds.
All right. Next is another film, another trailer that we reviewed. This is The French Dispatch. And 1, 2, 3, here we go. I still think it's good.
Yeah, I don't have a Jamesism here. It's a great trailer. I do have, I guess the Jamesism here is, I think my hair is starting to look a little bit like Timothy Chalamet hair in this trailer.
That is far from a bad problem to have.
Yeah, it's a very voluminous, isn't it?
And stop. A minute 40.
Good trailer, isn't it? Still a good trailer.
Well, it sure is, man. All right, well, we're on to our next. This next trailer is for a movie called Titane. All right, so to go back a second, I actually want to say one more thing about Petrov's flu. I think another thing that could have worked is if it just did an impressionistic montage that was just like cut really well. And for proof for how that can work, here's Titane. I have no idea what the fuck is happening here, but I certainly know the style, which is hyper-violent, cheeky in its music choice and nudity, but serious in its dope and at times detached cinematography. Like the fucking stabbing on that couch is shot like far enough away where you're like, wait, what's happening? Oh my god. It's so immediately evocative, and I saw this thing and I was like, how is this not the movie directed by the guy who did fucking RoboCop? I don't get it. But no, I was super intrigued. What do you got?
Well, the Jamesism to remember for Titane was sad old man plus intense woman, but neon.
Yeah.
That's just what I wrote to remind myself of it.
True.
But yeah, there's not really a whole lot to go off of in terms of understanding what this is about.
It is. It's an impressionistic
A
trailer.
lot of
Atmosphere.
just like grinding on cars by
dancers.
by dancers and stuff with neon lights and funky music. But yeah, the main woman in the trailer is clearly intense and involved in something violent and intense, for lack of a better word. And there's just a sad man who's always around looking in the mirror at his topless body also, too. This is weird. I don't know. I don't know.
There's a lot to ingest.
This didn't quite do it for me, but it was visually interesting. I'll give it that.
All right, cool. And it's up. 4 seconds.
4 seconds. All right.
We're doing fine. All right, next, we got not 1, not 2, but 3 floors. This was a 30-second teaser with no dialogue, and it appears if it's for either a character study or a comedy. We get images of people connecting with each other, usually smiling at each other, and we get an accordion playing over it. The most noticeable thing about this trailer for me is at the 18-second mark, they play a series of notes that's absolutely the theme from the X-Men TV show. Otherwise, I had no other...
They went da-da-da-da. They didn't do that whole thing, did they?
Not the whole thing, but they do that first little... Yeah.
Interesting.
Go to 18 seconds.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to look this up again.
It's there, man.
Okay, so this might be the first one where the Jamesism for 3 floors doesn't actually help me remember a whole lot.
Well, there's not much to remember.
All I wrote was sad adults looking at each other pretending to be happy.
Oh, interesting. So you looked at this because I was like, oh no, they are actually like connecting with each other and genuinely happy to see each other. You looked at it as like, I don't buy that smile for a fucking
Maybe
second.
It was the accordion. Maybe it was the accordion that was just like, they're lying to each other and they're lying to themselves. That's 3 floors.
And stop. What more is there to say? 45 seconds. We're doing great. All right. So we got another one. Guys, we were flying through. We're doing this. All right. So this next one, let's see if the title is true. This is Everything Went Fine. All right. So a woman's ailing father asks for her help committing assisted suicide. And so she enlists the help of her sister to end her father's pain. And guess what? It's a comedy. Nope, seriously, there's humor in here. The father asks for a big dose of poison because he's got the heart of an ox. I will note that some of the other humor here doesn't land nearly as hard as that joke, and at times the humor kind of feels more like, oh yeah, I guess a stuffy French person would think that's absurd behavior. Whereas the comedy coming from this being the father's choice seemed to really hit hard for me. Otherwise, this seems to be the first time I've seen a trailer from Cannes where I think this actually gave away too much. Like, usually these trailers are vague as shit, but this is the first one where I'm like, nah, I think I'm good, man. I think I've seen the entire movie. But, James, what do you got?
It's a French film, but it's almost like the filmmakers wanted to make a trailer that embodied American
would appeal
trailers,
to, like, American
dramas,
audiences.
especially dramedies.
Yes.
In every dramedy Kevin and I talk about, I think Kevin's first criticism is just, I think it gave away too much, which it does.
Actually, yeah, like, that is a pretty
and
common
it's because they
criticism
want, like, when the trailer happens, they want to invoke that sense of melancholy that happens at the end of dramedies, which is usually in the third act. Sorry, the quick Jamesism for this one was, father wants to die, daughter says, fine. So that's what I wrote. But I really liked this, though.
Oh, cool.
And again, maybe that's... James likes a lot of dramedy trailers when Kevin and I review them.
That's fair. That is true, too.
But, yeah, no, I would agree with you. I think we cover a little too much of the journey for this.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Actually, you know what? We only got 6 seconds left, so I'll just say, yeah, you're right. Stop. 4 seconds.
All right.
All right, folks, we are 14 movies in to our con expedition.
Yep.
We have 9 left to go. Now, here's the deal. Every once in a while, when we do these conquests, there'll be 1, maybe 2 tops films that do not have any trailers or clips, which bear in mind, like, you know, okay. Like
we didn't get around to submitting it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. This year, we have 9 movies that did not submit anything.
Damn near half.
That is very close to half, yes. This is going to be the first time we have ever done this for the Cannes Film Festival. Now, before it was just like 1 or 2 would blow the deadline. Don't worry about it. We're going to make fun of you, but don't worry about it. But with this egregious of a number, this is the first time we're ever doing our Conquest Wall of Shame, where we are just going to list all of the movies that didn't turn anything in and throw some sick burns at them. All right, so here we go. Wall of Shame at 2021 Conquest. Let's do this. First off, Flag Day. Your shit is at half-mast.
I got nothing. You nailed it there. Okay. That's perfect.
There is actually something I wanted to note about Flag Day.
Yes.
It's directed by Sean Penn. Now, the last movie...
No way!
Yes, it is.
Has he... So he's directed something before?
He has directed something before.
And?
It's funny you should ask, James. So the last thing he directed was a movie called The Last Face. Maybe we did. Maybe we did, but here's the deal. This premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, his last movie, The Last Face. Now, at the Cannes Film Festival, there's like some panel of critics where like they rate every movie that they see on a scale of like 1 to 4 stars.
Just like a Metacritic thing?
More or less, yeah. You're 100% right. It creates effectively a Metacritic score for the festival, and it's like 4 is the tippy top. Sean Penn's last film got a 0.2. Now, for those keeping score, that's apparently the lowest a film has ever gotten. And honestly, I'm saying this honestly, bless Sean Penn's heart for getting a 0.2 and saying, I'll see you in a few years. That takes some guts, honestly.
Yeah, man.
But fuck you for not having a trailer.
Yeah,
is what we wanted to
also,
say.
it's like maybe he knows something. Maybe he's like, well, 0.3 isn't much better, so why put the effort into a trailer?
Okay, next is The Worst Person in the World. Sounds like the guy who was supposed to put a trailer up for this and then didn't. Next, The Divide. They should have added a trailer.
See, I think we're on a division here because I think they're better off not having a trailer because it sounds like garbage.
Oh, nice.
Sick burn. Sick burn.
Very sick.
Yeah.
All right, The Restless. Guess the title doesn't apply to the trailer editor.
Oh, that's all I got.
Me and the Casablanca Beats girl are gonna make a great rap duo.
Yeah, I'm gonna spray paint a heart on your jean jacket. Get a jean jacket.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on my way.
All right. Good.
All right. Next, Paris 13th District. Nary an editor in the entire district. You say?
Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, there's. I felt like I was even stretching for the one I got. All right. Next, Memoria. Well, I can tell you one thing they forgot. Am I right?
Is it a trailer?
Yeah.
They forgot a trailer.
They forgot a trailer.
Or a clip. Just really anything.
Or a clip. Yeah. Anything.
Literally 10 seconds. The title card. Over some music. Whatever.
All right. Next, France. You know what? I guess you don't really need a trailer for the entire country. Oh, wait, it's a movie? Then yes, you need a trailer.
Yeah, you can't, just because you got into the Cannes Film Festival doesn't mean you can just skate by because your movie's called France. Like, come on.
I mean, I know it's on brand for you, but you didn't have to give up.
Oh, shit.
All right, next.
Because of the
France,
white flag.
That white flag, yeah, surrendering and all that.
That's good.
All right, next. Red Rocket. Yum.
I thought you were literally going to say the thing you wrote, which is just sing the title and the tune of Red Robin, and then I would have gone, Red Rocket.
Yum.
Blast off. That was nothing, was it?
Actually, Red Rocket bummed me out because...
Do you know stuff about this?
It's directed by Sean Baker, who's the guy who his last movie that he co-wrote and directed was The Florida Project, and I love that movie.
I hear such good things.
It's so good, dude.
I got it. We never even reviewed a trailer for that movie.
We didn't, no.
And I just heard the best things about it.
I really loved it.
I watched a lot of Willem Dafoe interviews because he was just so passionate about that project.
He's
and I'm
fucking great in it,
yeah.
too. I have no idea why they didn't have a trailer or a clip or anything, but I'm very eager to get more from Red Rocket.
Cool. Awesome.
Yum.
Yum.
And lastly, A Hero. Takes a real villain to miss the cutoff for trailer hitch.
Or an anti-hero. Like Venom. Should we talk more about Venom? Venom 2. Let there be
We've
carnage.
spent a lot of time in France, so yes, dude, we got to get ourselves out of here. But before we go, every year for the Conquest, much like the actual Cannes Film Festival, we like to give out awards. So in the actual Cannes Film Festival, they hand out the Palme d'Or, which is translated to the Golden Palm, and for Trailer Hitch, we give the Palme d'Or, which is
really hit that American accent. The Palme d'Or.
We're probably gonna just find a Honda Civic on the Facebook Marketplace and just pry the door off and spray paint it gold, and then you get that. Yeah. So congrats.
Yeah.
And then second place for the actual Cannes Film Festival is the Grand Prix, and because we go for car puns with all of our stuff,
no mispronunciation necessary.
No,
that works.
It's if they're gonna throw you a ball down center plate, you're not gonna be oh, can you do a curve instead? No, you take the swing and you hit it out of the park. We're just calling it the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So, James,
yes.
You go first. What is your Grand Prix for this festival?
All right. Well, I wanted to kind of have backups in case Kevin said, let's not count the ones that we've actually reviewed on the show before, meaning French Dispatch and Annette.
Annette, yes.
So I did have backups. I'll just say them real quick. Nitram and also Everything Went Fine. Those were two of my favorites. If Kevin said I couldn't say the ones we reviewed before. But Kevin did say I could say the ones we reviewed before. So therefore, My Grand Prix goes to The French Dispatch.
Okay, very cool, very cool.
Okay.
I'll actually also give my backups and then my Grand Prix.
Awesome.
I do want to give special shout outs to compartment number 6. I thought was super fucking solid. I thought Lingui, the Sacred Bonds, like, had a really, like, that's probably, we get clips every now and then, and usually the clips are like, oh, that was fun. The one for Lingui, the Sacred Bonds, I was genuinely like, that was a fucking phenomenal clip.
It was,
like,
I was captivated.
Yeah.
Like Casablanca Beats, I just wanted to keep watching. I was bummed that it was like, oh, it's over? Like, I want to keep watching this. So, yeah.
Otherwise, I also really dug Titan. But yeah, okay, otherwise, folks, my Grand Prix for the festival is Nitram.
Solid. Real solid.
So, yeah, dude, I think
Yeah.
it's such a clever choice to present the trailer about a character and then never revealing his face. And, like, I don't know if this guy is, like, just, like, off or weird, or, like, if he's actually, like, on the spectrum. Like, there's so many different ways they can take that character, and I'm just, like, so fucking there to see where they take it.
There's a lot of complexity to it.
Yeah.
But the tension building in the trailer based on the mother's monologue telling the story, really, really good stuff.
Fuck yeah. Now we're moving on to our Palme d'Or, which... We can probably say it at the same time, actually.
Yeah, we can. We can.
And if you want to know more why, just listen to the review for 3, 2, 1.
Flag Day!
Oh.
I'm sorry. Did we not want to give Sean Penn the benefit of the doubt here?
I feel like Sean Penn is just, like, pushing himself up against the window like, someone did like it.
Okay. I mean, maybe I would have, Sean Penn, if you made a fucking trailer or clip for your movie.
Made any effort.
All right, no, let's do it for real now. 3, 2, 1.
Annette.
Come on. How
Dude,
could it
it's
be
so
anything
good.
else? It's so fucking good.
Yeah, I think the best way we could put it is we brought it up, and I was like, okay, I know we have a lot to cover. I'm just going to say that I still really fucking like it. And even then, knowing that you had 13 trailers to talk about, James, you still wanted to talk for another, like, minute to minute 15 about it.
Right.
That's just how good it is.
We didn't do that with French Dispatch, which is a great trailer.
Oh, it's also a great trailer. Yeah, like, that's in my top 5.
But
for
it's
this
like,
year, but...
we skimmed right past it, though, because it's like, well, we want to, save time.
Yeah, we gotta...
Save run time. We get it.
But we gotta get me out of France. Like,
But Annette...
Interpol is breathing down my ass.
But Annette was like, no, I want to take the time to remind people how good this is. Like, I want people to go out of their way to see this trailer.
For sure.
It's that good. It's
sure.
that good. Yep.
All right, dude. Well, we're getting out of France before Johnny Law comes for me. Or I think it's Jean Law. I think that's...
Jean Law Van Law?
Yeah, that's the French version of Johnny Law. But folks, before we go, we would just like to say thank you so much for listening. Welcome back to Trailer Hitch.
I'm happy to be back. This went good.
If you missed trailer reviews, holy shit, did we give you a few. We will be back in a couple of weeks. We're resuming our normal schedule, which is just dropping an episode every couple of weeks. In the meantime, guys, if you want to find more of our episodes, you can hit us up on iTunes, Stitcher. You can hit us up. We are now on Google Podcasts. We're on Spotify. Like, there are a bunch of different ways to find us. If you want to contact us, maybe if you had a trailer that you wanted us to review, or maybe you're like, oh, hey, like, I actually speak Hebrew, so I can tell you what's going on in a head's knee.
That would be cool.
That would honestly be pretty rad.
Yeah.
You can feel free to hit us up. You can hit us up on trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com if you want to email us. Otherwise, you can hit us up on Facebook. Just search Trailer Hitch Podcast. You can find us there. Or if you want to tweet at us, at Trailer Hitch Pod, or Instagram is Trailer Hitch Podcast. You can also write a comment on the very YouTube video that you are watching if you are choosing to ingest us via YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, go ahead, like, rate, subscribe, do all of the things that, like, the weird hair Twitch streamers tell you to do, because it helps us find more listeners, we're told. So yes, definitely feel free to do that. Feel free to tell a couple of friends. Be sure to hit up other podcasts within our very fledgling network. There isn't really anything announced, but you should definitely listen to Lost on Lost.
The Cusp.
And
on the Cusp Network.
On the Cusp Network, Lost on Lost, New Kid from Orbit. The network isn't called On the Cusp. We're still TBD, but that is I am kind of starting to like that name.
What's wrong with Uncut? Yeah, so that's okay.
I'm starting to like that name. I'm
the
coming
cusp.
around to it.
It's all right.
Before we go, we would like to thank Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name for the amazing intro that you hear at the top of every episode. We would like to thank Rachel Ashley for the amazing cover art that you see on our various social medias. You can find her work at Mighty Creations on Instagram. We would also like to thank Jenny Hawks, our Bad Movie and social media correspondent, for her sterling work week in and week out. And we would also like to thank Casey Clowers for the amazing outro, which you will hear momentarily.
Welcome back!
Viva la France!
Trailer Hitch.
I think it's just because I was excited to get to the meat and potatoes.
The meat and baguettes, yeah.
Is it the brie and baguettes?
Yes, yeah, you're right.
It's American meat and potatoes.
That dog hated that joke.
Do you think it's a French bulldog?
No, that's the post-credit scene.
Yes.